Okay, this will be a very impromptu review of this laptop because I already shot it once, but I had the phone the wrong way and I didn't want to suffer the wrath of the internet, so I'm shooting it again in landscape mode. Anyways, this is a PowerSpec 1720, also known as a Clevo PB70EF-G, I believe it is. And it's got a 144 hertz G-Sync enabled display, a full RTX 2070 that's not the Max-Q design, a i7-8750H Intel processor, and it's got some stuff about Sound Blaster. Basically, it's got two regular speakers and a big bass speaker on the bottom, which sounds great. It has a light up keyboard with a bunch of other options, but right now I'm just having it to light up when I type. The overall design is generally thicker than I think is trendy, but as far as gaming laptops go, I think it's right down the middle. It feels very thin up front, and it gets progressively thicker as you get towards the exhaust port, which is really what you want and need in a gaming laptop. The screen area, the bezels are very thin, which is a pretty modern look. It's got a webcam up here, which I've never used, but I'm sure is functional. Do people still use webcams? I don't know. When I game, I use an external mouse and keyboard because I don't like to get my finger cheese all over the nice laptop, and who uses a touchpad when they have actual controls. Let's give you an idea of what it sounds like at max fan. It's got 4 exhaust ports, so we'll just go to each one. Honestly, I think it's pretty quiet. Previous to this laptop, I had tried out an Aorus 15X9, an Aorus 15X19, and that laptop, the fans were twice as loud, if not louder, than that compared to this one. So I'm really happy with the fans on this, and they seem to do just as good a job of cooling while being, half the fan volume of certain other laptops. Let me show you the control center, which runs, it runs power modes, LED keyboard. You can overclock the GPU. You can actually map the keyboard exactly how you want. You can change all the mapping in FlexiKey, which is really cool, and it has really good fan control. But mostly I want to show you the keyboard. So like I said, right now I have it set up to only light up when I'm typing, but you can change the brightness. You can change the speed of the actual transition of the LEDs, and it has a bunch of other pretty cool features, honestly. Sorry, I'm a little shaky. I don't have my phone stand today. Let's see, oh, here, I can set it on this. Ooh, right here. Slightly better. To give you an idea of some of the features. And you can set it to one color. You could play a game of Snake, fast, or slow. That one's kind of like stars. Anyways, I like to have it set like this, and then when I'm watching a video, it's not totally distracting in the background. What else do we have? The fan control is really nice. You can offset the fan speed all the way up to like 80% offset, which would basically just run it at full speed all the time. But I have it as a 10% offset right now, so when it actually fires up games, you're getting just a little bit more airflow, which is cool. You can also set it to full maximum, or you could set it to custom and have it at 1 fan speed no matter what. If you're like giving a PowerPoint and you don't want the fans to ramp up for any reason or something crazy like that. The GPU overclocking is pretty simple. You can still use like MSI Afterburner instead of this, which is exactly what I do, but this has basically the same features. You can overclock the memory and the core, and it really works, which is pretty interesting. Power modes, you get performance, entertainment, quiet, power saving. I'm pretty much a performance 100% of the time kind of guy. I have it tuned with throttle stop, but let's just give you a quick preview of the display, hopefully. Hopefully there's not a big glare. I might turn off the lights just to get rid of any amount of glare. 1 second. Well, hopefully that doesn't skew this too much. I feel like turning off the lights is a reasonable thing to do. We won't run the whole benchmark. I just want to show you the display. I'm probably at a bad angle. It looks okay. I think it's awesome. I've never had a G-Sync screen and one at 144 Hertz. So yeah, lights back on real quick. Maybe you can tell the fans ramped up a little bit just running that. But they'll settle back down. It got to about, what is that? About 50 on both of them. It honestly runs pretty cool. I have Noctua NT-H1 in there right now, thermal paste, and it idles load at about 80, or I said that wrong. It sits at about 80 under load consistently. It idles at about 40. And I would say peak temps at around 85, 87-ish. So compared to out of the box, before the Noctua NT-H1, it would hit like 96 after not that long of a time. And that was before I undervolted it. It undervolts very well. The GPU overclocks, I would say, pretty average, but because it's a full RTX 2070, you don't really even need to overclock it. It performs very well for a laptop. And I've gamed on it for hours on end, like 2 to 3 hour sessions, no problem, no overheating. And overall, I've probably gamed maybe like 20 or 30 hours on it so far in the last 2 weeks. I'm honestly a light gamer. I don't game that much, but I've tried to play on it every day. You can get pictures of the underside of it and like the inside of it, so I'm not gonna like take it apart on video or like even flip it over, because I did that in the other video and I like dropped the phone and it was stupid. But any other specs you should be able to Google. You can put in 2 M.2s, but you need to make sure on at least one of the ports it needs to be PCIe enabled. M.2. I'm not really sure what the standards are, but I had one drive that I put in and it didn't recognize it, and then I put in another one that I thought was the same, but it worked, and it turns out that one was PCIe enabled. So it came with a 500 gigabyte NVMe and NVMe M.2, and then there's one other empty port, and then there's also a 2.5-inch bay port. So really there's 3 hard drive bays, but one of them's the 2.5-inch SATA, and that one's empty too. So you could throw in a bunch of hard drives, and it also came with a single stick DDR4 16 gigabyte, which is convenient to me, but some people will say, oh, it's a single stick, it's in single channel mode, it's not good performance, which is true. The idea from the manufacturer is, it's a single stick and that there's an empty bay, and you're gonna buy another stick, double your RAM, and then have dual channel memory. all for cheaper than if they were to sell it to you with two 16 gigabyte sticks for like another $200, because that's probably what they would charge. They're like, no, you go to the store, get one for, you know, $75, $90, throw it in there, and you're good to go. They're looking out for you, the consumer, by doing that. In my mind, it's also an easy way to sell this for $14.99, because yeah, if you put in 2 RAM sticks, 3 hard drives. Like if you load it out, you can't sell it for $14.99. So I'm happy that Micro Center sells this PowerSpec 720 or 1720 for $14.99, and then has basically it open for all of the customization you could want. Like you could run 2 hard drives, you could run 3, you could run 1 RAM stick if you don't care, you could run 2 if you do. It's up to you, and you're not overpaying at the register for it. So right now it's got 32 gigs in dual channel mode. I'm running 2 NVMe drives, and I'm not using the 2.5-inch SATA port. It's still empty. I am in love with this laptop. The one bad feature that I can think of right now is there are 17 to 19 screws on the bottom. I don't actually remember, but it is one of those 2 numbers. Once you get the screws out, which is just tedious, it's not hard, but once you get the screws out and, you know, secured off to the side so you don't lose them, taking the actual bottom of the laptop off is not hard for me. I put a little piece of plastic in here to like break the contact, and then it separates all around the edge, and then the bottom just comes straight off. There's no wires to undo, there's no LEDs in the corners or anything, so you don't have to worry about unplugging them when you take the bottom off. It just comes straight off, which is super nice. Yeah. For $14.99, I think it's great. Let me give you a little preview of the sound, maybe. Oh, perfect. I had this loaded up last time. And I'll turn the volume up too. Oh, that's down. It's probably too loud. Do a little run and I get it done. Mom said I must have been born with it. I wasn't always so sure of it. Now I can see all the worth in this. Every time I get a little better, so I gotta do it every single day. Like I'm a kid with a habit and a new front and back. Put a habit in a rabbit. If you want it, you can have it, bring it up. I can bag it on. Women that be rockin', look at how we even comment. Anything we gotta do it like a problem. And they wanna keep us at the bottom. So I really like the speakers. They're Sound Blaster tuned. You can do like 360 sound. There's a whole app for tuning the audio, which is great. I don't actually use it because I game with headphones and I like simplicity with audio. I'm not a big audiophile, but if you want the external audio and you want the ability to tune it, it is all there and it's all included, and it works really well, which is a nice feature. The keyboard, like I said, was probably my other favorite feature. The fan control is really nice to see on a gaming laptop. Power modes are nice when you're actually on battery. The performance has really just blown me away. It doesn't power limit throttle. After you've tuned it, kind of like I did, and repasted the laptop, it doesn't thermal throttle at all. It will thermal throttle out of the box, but if you don't expect that, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, all laptops thermal throttle out of the box unless they're like, you know, the power saver little low energy ones. But yeah. It's a Clevo, or it's a rebranded Clevo PB70EF-G, but they're selling it at Micro Center for $14.99 in the 17-inch model with the G-Sync 144Hz display and all the other specs that you can find online for $14.99. Hope you guys have a great day.